This segment is sponsored by Michigan Auto Law. When a minor is involved in an auto accident that is not his fault and he receives bodily injury, the law treats that accident differently than it would had the victim been an adult. And this is important because it dictates when the young victim of an auto accident can file a lawsuit. And attorney Brandon Hewitt from Michigan Auto Law is here to explain. Hi, Brandon.
Hi, Catherine. Thanks for having us.
Oh, glad to. What is the general statute of limitations for bodily injury?
Yeah, so the general rule in Michigan for personal injury, whether it's from an auto accident, a slip and fall, anything else involving personal injury, it's going to be 3 years from the date the incident happened. So if you get in a crash today, you have 3 years basically till 2024, the 3-year anniversary to file a lawsuit.
Got it. So when a minor is injured in an accident and it's not his fault, the state of Michigan does something with the statute of limitations that's called tolling. Explain what that is.
Yep. So tolling means that basically the statute is paused, right? So, if you have somebody who's 2-3 years old, they can't make a decision, on their own to file a lawsuit. And also you might not know enough. Children are definitely different in how they recover. And you want to make sure that whatever is done is in their best interest. So what the law does is it tolls it, it pauses that time limit that you have to file that lawsuit. And basically that's done up until they reach the age of majority, obviously, which is 18.
Got it. At which time they could make a decision whether or not to proceed with some kind of legal action.
Yeah. So again, there's two purposes, right? Give it a little bit of time so that we can figure out what's happening with the child or the minor. But also, yes, give them an opportunity to make their own decision, not necessarily a decision made by their parents. So basically, if the crash happens, even if they're 5 years old, right, and you have 13 more years before they reach the age of 18, the law is going to give them reach age 18, where they're now an adult, plus 1 year. So technically, they actually have until their 19th birthday to file a lawsuit if they so choose, related to an injury that could have happened to them 10, 15 years prior.
Wow. I understand there are limitations for uninsured motorists and underinsured motorist claims. Explain that.
Yeah. These are treated differently under the law when it comes to car accidents specifically. So uninsured and underinsured motorist coverage, which we've talked about previously, that's an optional coverage when you buy your auto insurance. You're required to carry liability insurance. You're required to carry some of these other coverages, but uninsured and underinsured motorist coverage, which protects you in case you are injured by somebody who doesn't have enough insurance, that's optional. And so therefore it's governed by contract instead of statute. So by contract, technically you might have 6 years to make that claim instead of 3, because a breach of contract statute is 6 years. We still warn everybody and advise everybody to still abide by that 3-year rule, because you don't want to be wrong about that contract, think that you have 5 or 6 years and really you only have 3. So yes, it could be treated differently under the law, but we would encourage everybody, if you have a motor vehicle accident and you're going to make an uninsured motorist claim, underinsured motorist claim, still stick to that 3-year statute to file your lawsuit.
Don't miss an opportunity if it's necessary. All right. And what are the no-fault benefits for a minor?
So this is the one real tricky part of it. So we talked about everything is tolled. One exception to that is when you're claiming no-fault benefits, and those are your medical bills. Those are help around the house, attendant care, which you might have heard about. We still believe that there's a 1-year limit to make that claim. So even if you have a minor involved in an accident, don't think that you have that extra time that you do for the bodily injury, the pain and suffering claim. You want to make your no-fault claim immediately, and you really can't go back and claim anything more than is 1 year old. So ignore all that 3-year and 6-year stuff. If you're claiming medical bills, if you're claiming help, taking care of the child, it's smart to stick to 1 year, just to be careful.
It's a lot to sort through and complicated nuances. And so we simply want to advise folks that if you would like to consult with an attorney, contact Michigan Auto Law. The phone number there on the screen, 833-411-MISH, that's MICH, or you can visit michiganautolaw.com. As always, Brandon, thank you for helping us kind of sort through all these complicated issues.
Thanks for having